just now on YouTube. We're on live. I mean, I just feel like you should know by now. All right, so we're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. So normally you get to hear the intro music before the show starts. Now there will be no intro music. We just gonna start. Just gonna get right to it. As soon as Jordan tells us, he's the boss. He says 1 second. We're waiting on him. What's up, Wes? No, it's not till yeah, till not till 6:45. Just make sure he's added. You add him or whatever. That's all. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? What do I sound like now? What do I sound like now? Jordan turned it up. I'm still talking. Hey, Andrea Workman, Way, how are you? We good. We live. I'm glad you're here. We're gonna do the whole show. So we're expecting people to be in and out because the show is. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, yeah. Jordan said he had an issue that he had not anticipated. Now he's fixing it. I know this can't be the most fun in the world. I know we're live on YouTube. I know y'all can see me live on Facebook. We haven't even got to the show yet, but it's gonna get better. Okay, just give us some time. We're gonna be live. Charlemagne, we live. We live. Charlemagne, we live. We ready to go, Jay? You ready? We're not recording. Oh, why aren't we recording? Why aren't we recording? Okay, so we're live on YouTube. They can see me. I can't see y'all, but y'all can see me. You can see Jeremy. Jeremy, say what's up to the people. Fire Dana Holgerson. Stop it. Stop. Stop with the fire Dana Holgerson nonsense. Well, nah, save it. Wait, go ahead and say it if you want to. Well, can we say? Let's save this when we're recording because I have the same feel. I get the same feelings. It's about to get real. It's about to get real. We got a lot to say. Hopefully, y'all read Jeremy's article this week. Offended. It was the first article that has been written for the Raspy Voice Kids. It was excellent. It expressed a lot of things that I feel. Jeremy's been wanting to get off his chest for a long time. I'm glad he put it down in written form. Let it get that burn out. Oh, stop it. By the way, that offends my soul. And somebody said that to me. They're like, "Why are you so sensitive about Gibby?" And I'm sorry. It makes me more mad if you say fire Gibby than it does say fire Dana. It makes me I can't take it because it's just nonsense. It's nonsense. Don't you ever in your life talk about firing Tony Gibson. All right, Jordan's getting it ready. He's about to do the clap that he always does. Now the now famous clap. Well, it was on the show, and Jeremy asked about it. Yep. Here we go. RVK is live in the building. We're doing this show live, even though when you hear it, if you're listening on iTunes, if you watch us on YouTube, it'll be a recording by that point, obviously. We got so much to talk about this week. We're going to talk about Oklahoma State to start with. We want to get that review in. Jeremy, you wrote a piece about the Oklahoma State game. It was really more than just that, but it was I would say the catalyst was the Oklahoma State game. What can you tell me about your feelings leaving Morgantown after that game? I think I know why, but I want to hear you say it. Yes. They said there were 10 scouts there, including Doug Williams from the Redskins. So, yeah. And Solitnikov will be back again. Now, the other thing that happened, like you said, Will Greer's back. Will Greer's Heisman chances are over. 4 interceptions, a 3.6 QBR. His chances of winning the Heisman are over. But he's still Mountain Greer. That's the thing I think people miss. Terrible game, no excuses for it, but he's still Mountain Greer. And I can't wait till the dude represents this weekend against Iowa State. My No, and one's a senior, and it's not Will Greer. Should have been intercepted. No, they put on a show. They put on a show. It was just perfect for Halloween because it was disaster, man. It was horrible. I want to say though, my overall feeling leaving that game is that it's okay to lose because losing happens. Alabama loses, Clemson loses, Ohio State loses. And I'm using those names because those are the creme de la creme, the upper echelon, what everybody aspires to be. Everybody loses. What is never okay, ever, not even one moment in a day, is to not give your best effort. I don't care what you're doing. And what happened Saturday was not our best effort. That was the thing that bothered me the most. When we left like a team that was soft, that had no mental or physical toughness, that got pushed around and beat up in almost all phases of the game. Even though the defense, in my opinion, played better than the 50 points they gave up, they missed too many tackles. They overran plays. The only person who has any reason to hold their head high, the only person is David Long, Mr. 18 tackles, 7 for a loss, the 7 for a loss breaking a school record. 18 being, I think, the most since 2003, at least since 2003 when Grant Wiley had 17, I believe. David Long is the only one who acquitted himself, but everybody else, including the coaching staff, there's a lot that needs to be done. And Dana, to give credit to Dana, he said right away, it starts with him. And there's no getting around that. Everybody talks about firing Dana, but that's nonsense. But as far as fixing these problems, it starts with him. And things were not good Saturday. Yeah. I yes, yes. Well, like Dana said, there are going to be a lot of people uncomfortable, and that's what he was talking about. Tony Tony Gibson said in his in an interview session on Tuesday, he said, "I don't like being around soft people." And there's no question we were soft. Did you notice there were heaters on the sideline during the game? And the the offense kept gravitating towards the heaters. Dana got livid and had all the heaters removed from the sideline because the players were gravitating towards them. What's that tell you? You're not focused on the game. You don't have time to be cold when you're getting your tails whipped. And we were getting our tails whipped offensively, and we're gravitating towards the heater. Get it together, man. That's a matter of toughness. That's a matter. That's right. And especially in Morgantown. It's not like this is a California team. It's not like this is a Florida team. There's no excuses for that. Now, Tony Gibson also said another great thing. He said, "I'm not mad at the guys because I don't like them." He's like, "I'm mad at the effort that they gave or the lack of effort that they gave on occasion." And that's how I feel about this team. I'm not one of these people talking about these players, calling them spoiled and entitled. I'm not one of these guys saying take their scholarship. I'm certainly not a guy saying fire Dana, and more and worse. The worst thing you can say to me is fire Tony Gibson. Please, please don't watch your mouth. Don't you ever talk about the man from Van, Tony Gibson, losing his job in Morgantown. Tony Gibson brings his lunch pail to work. Tony Gibson puts a defense on the field that is designed to be successful. And when he doesn't have success, it's more often than not that he does. But he deserves blame too because he's responsible. So I'm not acting like he can't be criticized. I'm saying stop saying fire the man. You're out of your mind. Out of your mind. Yeah. Because it makes no sense. It yeah. And did nothing with it. And the thing is, if you have a cold start, if you start out bad and you weren't ready to go and something wasn't right, I could see that happening. But when it's 30-24 and your defense has put you back in the game and mentally you should be ready to go because you've gotten redemption, you've gotten a second chance. It's 3rd and 7, the end of the third quarter, basically an extended timeout. So you should have everything right. We have a bad snap, an early snap, or miscommunication on the snap, which results in a fumble and turnover, and Oklahoma State gets the ball within our 10-yard line. Or 15, something like that. Yeah, I think so. I give them credit too. I do give them credit, but they weren't responsible for the drop passes. They weren't. That first interception was terrible, and that this is coming from guys who love Mountain Greer. But we're gonna call it like we see it. We keep it real. They call me Captain Keep It Real, okay? Because I keeps it real. I stay keeping it real. Mountain Greer did not have. You cannot excuse a 3.6 QBR. There's no way to explain it except for that he just played poorly. And if you try to tell me that it was the weather, then what's the excuse on the other side? Because, what's his name? Mason Rudolph did not play as poorly as Will Greer did. He just didn't. And I will say that there was a lot of pressure on Will. There was a lot of pressure, very often, far too often. What got you? Yeah. Yeah, I won't say it's the first time because remember Texas Tech, we were down terribly to Texas Tech and he led the comeback. So I can't say that. I mean, I'm not a big body language guy because it's really hard to tell. But I can see what you're saying. I'm just saying I'm not going to be the person who looks at somebody and says I could tell this out of the other. I do know though that there are moments where it feels like you can look at somebody, you can tell where their heart and where their head is. But I couldn't.
I don't know whether it was receivers. All I know is I feel like the body language. I feel like he did try to force a few passes in there.
I felt like he was trying to give his receivers a chance to make a play. And that's what I mean. Like it's hard to tell. Like, what was it? Was it him forcing a play because he felt desperate? Or was it him letting his receivers make a play because he believes in them? Either way, you can't make those decisions. Either way, you can't make those decisions.
Yeah, there was one to Sills across the middle where I feel like he was trying to let Sills make a play, and the safety just made a great play and ripped the ball away. Or maybe it was Karan.
Yeah, you're right. That one interception.
I think he was trying to make a play, but there's a couple other ones that felt like he just got a little rattled. He really was rattled. No, I won't say rattled because rattled makes me feel like you're getting beat up. I say frustrated. He was frustrated by the defense.
Yeah, he was definitely frustrated. There's no question about that. And I think everybody was because nothing was working. And you give credit to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, by the way, was the better team. Oklahoma State is better than us.
Yeah, don't get that twisted.
Don't get that twisted. We've saying all this stuff. We should have said this early on.
We should have said this at the beginning. Because like Virginia Tech, I felt like we're better than Virginia Tech, or just as good.
Or
TCU,
at least even, yeah.
TCU, we're better than
TCU or even.
Oklahoma State, we're like, don't even start to fix your mouth to say
we're not better than Oklahoma State.
We are not.
At least we don't match up well with them. I heard Reese Donahue say during an interview session that if it was a best of 5, that he thinks that West Virginia would win 3 out of the 5. Reese, I love you, man, but I don't agree. I don't agree. That's not what I saw. And it wasn't just effort.
Well, bring that passion in to win 1 of 1 against Iowa State, Reese. Okay,
that's one thing I did like. Everybody from David Long to David Sills to Reese Donahue to Wickline, Spavital, Gibson, Tony Gibson, Dana Holgerson, everybody was preaching the same thing: mental and physical toughness and wanting it. And I've said this before in a video I made. Nobody can want it for you. You got to want it. If you don't want it, nobody's going to want it for you. And that's the thing. That's the difference. That's what makes teams that are successful and teams that are not. And it's what you want and what you're willing to do for what you want. Because where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm not talking about Greer in this case. And that was the biggest thing is Oklahoma State wanted it more. Will that be the case Saturday? I don't think so. I really don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And that's, again, a tribute to the coaching staff. But, we'll have to wait and see. But back to the offended article. I love the point you made in the article being basically that you have a right to be upset. We have a right to be upset. We spend money on this. I sat out in the cold, wet, rainy day for this. You drive hours to get there. You spend hours while you're there, and then you drive hours to get home. It's okay to be upset. It's not okay to be disrespectful. It's not okay to be disloyal. And it's not okay to not know what you're talking about. If you're going to complain, at least know what you're talking about. If you're going to complain, at least have a solution. Everybody out here saying fire Dana, who in the world do you want to hire?
Who are you going to get?
Who you
That's
gonna
my
get?
whole thing. Look, let's say maybe you're right. Or they're not right, but let's say maybe you are right. Fire Dana. Who in the world are you going to get?
Because if we're being honest, you have to look at the state of the program. You're not going to get Matt Campbell because for Matt Campbell, it's essentially a lateral move. Even though we're better than I always say historically, it's not enough of a jump for him to leave the job he has to leave what he's building this early.
The Syracuse coach ain't coming here.
The same thing with PJ Fleck at Minnesota. Of course, West Virginia is a better football program than Minnesota. Better over the last 30 years, for sure. But there's no reason for PJ Fleck to leave when there's options that are better than West Virginia as far as an institution, money-wise, resources-wise, facilities-wise. So don't take this as slander against West Virginia. It's just be honest about who and what we are. I think so many of our fans are not, which is what leads to their frustration and their anger.
Here's the truth right here, West Virginia fans, and I want to know the truth. And I know immediately what you're going to say, the emotional reaction. If you want to get rid of Dana Holgorsen, there's only one real viable candidate that's going to come to West Virginia.
Yeah,
the
buddy.
question,
I'm not going to say his name. He's not, by the way. He can't either.
I'm not saying his name. I'm just saying there's only one viable candidate who will come back to West Virginia. The question is,
oh, he gave it away. I knew what he was talking about, but now he gave it away.
Do you want him? Do you want him? I'm gonna answer it now. No, I'm look.
I don't care. You know what I want? I want to win. I don't care who's responsible for us winning. I just want to win. I don't care.
You gonna talk about the recruits we're getting later?
But Jeremy's talking about Rich Rod, and there's no way Rich Rod, the Mountaineer Nation would not accept him back, and Rich Rod ain't coming back.
Brandon, you just said you don't care. Are you watching what he's putting together? Are you watching the freshman on the field for West Virginia? And then you see this freshman class coming in. Are you watching what is taking place?
The trouble with Rich Rod, Jeremy, is his buyout his buyout is enormous.
I'm talking about Holgorsen. And the way he's recruiting.
Jeremy, you know
the horses he's bringing. College football is won and lost by the horses. And right now
we get horses. By the way, did you see that? Did you see where our class is ranked now by rivals?
I saw it was 18.
Number 18. This will be the best class West Virginia has ever recruited. The best class West Virginia has ever recruited. Who did it? Dana Holgorsen.
What about that all-everything linebacker whose teammate just signed with us?
McConnell?
I can't remember his last name. Yeah, but all I know is he's big time.
McLean.
He has opportunity. Like, if he comes...
It's McLean out of Valdosta, Georgia.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
And we have a 64% chance of getting him. So where would that push our class to?
That's all I'm saying. It's rising.
People keep talking about Dana as if we don't have everybody. Before the season started, everybody knew that if Mountain Greer stays, we're better next year than we are this year. Okay, and we still have a chance to be 9-3. Now it doesn't look likely, but we still have a chance to be 9-3.
I feel it coming.
I feel it coming too, because what I want more than anything is to have a program. I don't care about winning. You know, people get so excited. We won 9 games in the Big East 3 years in a row, 4 years, whatever it was in a row. But we didn't build a program because we didn't have the depth behind it.
But that's what you were saying. You were saying, I don't care as long as we win. And that's what I'm saying. I do care. I want Dana because look what he's building.
But Jeremy, what I'm saying is if somebody else could come in and do the same thing, I don't care what their name is. What I'm saying is I would welcome Rich Rod back. Because I got you saying. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about I don't care what happened before because all I care about is winning. Do you want a national championship? Do you want Heisman's? If Rich Rod could give you that, but if you had to grit your teeth and accept him, would you do it? The answer is you better.
I know some stubborn people, and what I'll say is 2 things. Stop it.
Stop.
I don't even know the second thing. I'm just say stop it. Yeah,
stop it. 2 things. Stop it. Stop it. Okay?
If he brings us to the promised land, I don't care. By any means necessary.
Malcolm X, son, by any means necessary. But yeah, so we're talking about Quantel Reigns.
No, real quick. I don't care if you vacate the national championship 10 years after we win it.
I don't care either. I don't care either. I'm telling you, people can say whatever they want. I prefer an ethical championship. I do.
Give me one. I don't care.
Do you think Reggie Bush forgets the fact that he won a Heisman? No.
All them kids growing up watching him forget who he was and what happened and that magical night.
Yeah, I don't forget the game against Fresno State. I don't forget the Bush push. I don't forget any of that stuff, and it doesn't matter. You can't take memories away. There's no way to vacate. There's no way to vacate memories. All right. So, but right. we are calling it an ethical championship. All right, an ethical championship. So, and by the way, if you see me looking at my phone, the reason I keep looking at my phone is because we're on Facebook Live right now. So we're doing YouTube Live and Facebook Live in addition to recording our regular show. I do want to talk about Quantel Reigns. Telly Mac on Instagram. You can find him or on Twitter at Quantel Reigns. he just became the newest Mountaineer to sign with us. And we had him on the show. You guys got to see him and listen to him on our show. He made a poor choice with cinnamon Pop-Tarts and saying that he liked Arby's curly fries. But who cares about the rest of that? They call Brian Miller. Follow him on Twitter. Brian Miller calls him an F5. I told Tally Mac that he liked that. Man, we beat. The thing about getting Quantel Reigns is he's a 4-star. That's awesome. We love getting 4-star guys. He's a Rivals 250 guy. We love getting top 250 guys in the country. That's awesome. It's good for the brand, as Pat McAfee would say. It's good for the brand. The best part about it is it was down to Penn State, Florida, and Pitt.
I love it.
And guess what? We beat Pitt. Any chance you get to beat Pitt, let's beat Pitt. And we did. You should see the belly aching and the crying people were doing on Twitter.
Salty.
So salty. How are you going to go to West Virginia? Blah, blah, blah. You're going to leave your hometown. And he said, first of all, I'm not from Pittsburgh, which I loved even more.
Yep.
So even though it was a bad weekend, it's been a good week. And it's going to get even better when we get to Iowa State. And that's coming up next. All right. So that is the end of that segment. Went way too long, probably.
I was just about to say.
But who cares?
But you already knew we had feelings about that. You already knew it. Like I knew before.
I feel like it was a good segment. I think that was a good segment, guys. I don't know what y'all got to hear. I don't know how much y'all got to see that, but that's the most raw emotion I've let out this whole season. So
I love looking back through my notes. Oh shoot! See, I wanted to say about 30 carries for 60 yards. Is that?
I wanted to talk about the fact that they had 19 more minutes of possession than us. We kind of talked about that.
Yeah, we got a little bit. It's good because I look, leaving the game. Look, if you'd have caught me, and I'm talking to everybody who's watching, if you'd have caught me leaving the game,
Jordan, I was still doing YouTube live. Okay.
No, I'm just saying, when leaving the game, I was saying way crazier stuff. I was thinking, see?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, leaving the stadium, I was saying crazy things. Main thing I was thinking was, oh, see, all Mountaineer Nation was complaining about us not being considered for the Heisman, considered for Blitnikoff. This is why. This right here.
No, but that's the truth.
Right here is why.
I'm about to talk about that.
You had your opportunity. I said on W Nation, Saturday's our day to show up. And what happened on national TV, on NBC?
Yeah.
Or ABC, I don't know, one or two.
It was ABC, but I did think the same thing. I thought, this is why I don't get so upset early on in the season when we're getting snubbed.
No, you knew I thought that and was saying it.
Because you get a chance to prove it. There's plenty of season left. You get a chance to prove it. If you do what you're supposed to do, you get a chance to prove it. And, we didn't prove it. So, but anyway, all right. So it's on to Iowa State, on to the Cyclones. This week, you want to do your claps again? Okay. All right, it's on to Iowa State. It's Cyclone week. It's hate week for the Iowa State Cyclones. What do we have for these guys? What's coming up this week for them? Well, they have the top defense in the Big 12, I believe. They do not turn the ball over. They do not get penalized. Very, very disciplined team that we're facing, led by Joel Lanning on defense, a former quarterback who now plays linebacker. Think about that. How is that even possible? What do you got for us, Jay?
I was going to say, you know who they remind me of?
Who?
They remind me of old school Kansas State.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Joel
Klatt and I was in Kansas State. You
win the turnover battle and you possess the crap out of the ball, so the other team doesn't have a chance to score.
Always. And you believe you're going to win the whole time. And Matt Campbell has those boys believing they're going to win every time they step on the turf.
The way they're not like Kansas State is they can't run the ball like Kansas State traditionally can. Matter of fact, I was looking down through some of the stats and some of the games. I keep thinking, how in the world do they pull some of this stuff off?
They didn't even score in the second half against TCU, but they won 14-7.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing. Sports is, I'm not going to overly simplify it, but a lot of it is mental. Sports is very, very mental. When you shoot a basketball, they always say you have to see it going in when you release it from your hands. And it's the same thing in football and other sports. Believing in yourself for it doesn't cover over all, but it goes a long way. And what you're seeing with Iowa State is they really, really believe in themselves, believe in their coach, and believe in the system right now.
Yeah, and it's working for them because they're now first in the Big 12, 4-1 in conference, 6-2 overall. We're 5-3, 3-2 in the conference, and they're coming to Morgantown. But guess who's favored?
I know. What's
WVU -3 last I saw.
Yeah.
So that speaks to what people recognize as just being a bad game against Oklahoma State. They recognize that we are a good team. Iowa State's probably a little overrated at 14, maybe a lot overrated at 14, and that West Virginia has the ability and should really beat Iowa State. I'm fully expecting us to beat Iowa State because I just don't believe in them, which is probably why Oklahoma lost them and which is probably why TCU lost them because people just don't believe in them. When you don't believe in a team, hey, let me say what's up real quick. What's up, Jason? Jason's in the building. Devin's in the building. Arthur's in the building. Tim's in the building. These are all the people watching on Facebook Live because we're doing Facebook Live and YouTube Live while we're doing our show. But anyway, when you don't believe in the team you're playing, sometimes you don't give effort. The difference for us is we just played against Oklahoma State and we're completely devoid of effort, and I think it's going to get beaten out of the players this week. You know, metaphorically.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes you just need magic in games, and that's what Iowa State's had. I mean, look at it. They had, 255 total yards against TCU. Not only that, TCU turned the ball over 2 times inside of Iowa State's 10-yard line. Tip my cap to them for getting it done and playing ball. I'm just saying.
Winning is winning. A win is a win.
And even their rushing game, they don't rush for that many yards. It's not like they're going to run through us. So if we come in focused and prepared, and if we don't, there should. I mean, if any way we don't show up for this game, then I'm with everybody else who's going a little bit too far.
No, they made some big shakeups, by the way. They made some big shakeups on as far as the depth chart is concerned. They switched Lingenfelter where he's backing up. They made a lot of changes, really. So I don't think personnel was the only problem. I think attitude was the biggest issue, but they did make some changes to the depth chart. So we'll see if that makes any difference going forward.
But even all right, so that was TCU. That's Iowa State against TCU, where they didn't really overwhelm. What I love is Iowa State's defense. I mean, they're legitimate defense. They gave up 24 points to Oklahoma in the first half, and the second half they played ball and shut them down for just 7 points. So, like I said, they're kind of like that old school Kansas State mold: play defense, win the turnover battle. But I feel like our team should be locked in this week. If we're not locked in this week, then we're not going to be locked in. It's just not going to happen this year.
Yeah, you're right. This week tells us what it is, because it's not how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get up. And right now, we got smacked.
All right, Rocky.
We got smacked down to the turf, smacked down to the earth. If we thought we were something, we were shown that we can quickly become nothing last Saturday. So this is our chance to show who and what we are and what we're made of. And if we don't do it this week, like you said, then we just don't have it. We don't have the fortitude to compete in the Big 12 this year, and we'll have to go back to the drawing board. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. If you listen to the coaches, if you listen to the players, I think they felt embarrassed. I think they realized what happened, and I think they don't want it to ever happen again. So,
hold on. Can we get props? And I know we're on the wrong segment, and I missed it. But I said it one time. Can we please collectively, as a whole state, give some props to that block punt for a touchdown? Yes. When's the last time we blocked a punt? I was going nuts.
2013, I believe.
Did we? All right. Well, we blocked one. That felt like Miami. I don't want to bring that up.
No, I'm about to say, come on, man. Come on, man. You're going to bring up Miami.
I'm just saying, it could have been more hype. I saw, I think Judge Jennings said that Mike Gundy said that it's louder. It was as loud as any stadium he's been in.
Hyperbole.
When we started.
Hyperbole.
All right. Well, still, I don't care. I'll take it. Thank you. Make me feel good. It don't matter.
Yeah, it's right. It don't matter. It didn't matter. It could be as loud as it wanted to be. It didn't matter.
I'm just saying it was amazing. I want to give props to our special teams for blocking that punt. I didn't want to overlook it. I just wanted to give props.
Well, hopefully they bring some of that magic again. I felt like we punted pretty well. We kicked off pretty well. I thought we did a good job on special teams. Everybody's complaining about special teams, much maligned. I thought we did a pretty good job on special teams.
I did too.
I thought our defense was better than the 50 points they gave up, and I think they're going to be better this week.
Me too.
I really think they're going to be better this week, especially if Xavier Preston's healthy, and he was listed as a starter on the depth chart. So coming into Iowa State, we should have him ready to go.
Have we heard anything on Xavier Preston?
No, which is good news. Jason Riggs asks, what's going on with Justin Crawford? Justin Crawford is ready to play ball. He's a tough guy. He's ready to go. The offensive line needs to be more physical. The running backs need to be more physical. And we've got to do better than 60 yards on the ground rushing. If we're going to beat Iowa State, That's what we have to do because they're going to do the same formula everybody's been doing, which is load the box. Everybody's been loading the box. You load the box and you make us throw to beat you. You make us be perfect. And we just have to be physical. We just got to be tough. Some of that's on play design. Some of that's on toughness.
I was just about to say, I'm not letting Spav get away from this. I love Spav, love his swag. I love, what he's been able to do for us this year so far. But I think a lot of it, some of it was on play design. Early on, there's a few times I saw there was 8 guys in the box, and I was sitting beside what's his name, Ross. Brad Ross. My bad, Brad. I was sitting beside Brad Ross, and I looked over at him, and I told him, I was like, what I love about that is they just stacked 8 people in the box, and we just ran for 6 yards. That bodes well for us for the rest of this game.
Yeah, it didn't.
So that's the reason why I feel like some of it was play calling, where we kind of just bogged ourselves down and
or
then
try to get cute.
So, and I honestly
I will say this: Will Grier has a lot of flexibility at the line. Just like Skyler did. That's one of the things that quarterbacks like about the offense that Dana runs and now that Spav is running. So that means that in the huddle, or the whatever you want to call it that we do at the line, Will Grier is allowed to change the play. So you don't really know what Spav called versus what was run.
Also, do we have any trick plays in our playbook? Because what they always say is when you can't beat them straight up.
We ran trick plays. Tevin Bush.
That was a trick play. Wasn't that the Tavon Austin play?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a trick play.
Ain't no trick play. Yeah. I thought maybe I missed some.
I mean, it's not a straight up play. You don't expect, how many people run that? How many people do that play?
Yeah, I see people doing it in the NFL now. Okay,
yeah, yes. How often though?
It's not a trick play. It's a little. They consider it a pass. All I'm saying is they say you run trick plays when you can't beat them straight up. Well, you know what? We couldn't beat them straight up. Where in the world was a trick play? The whole time I said, we're going to run a trick play here soon. We're going to run a trick play here soon. Because we had to, because we couldn't do anything. We couldn't get our offense started. And it just never came, so I don't know.
Well, hopefully we won't need them against Iowa State. But true. I really think we're going to see a different team. I'm excited for it. We're excited for it. Mountaineer Nation needs it. There's nothing like the only way to get over a loss is to play again and win. So it's time. Let's go Mountaineers. All right.
We got a comment from YouTube.
What's the comment?
Austin Bramer asks, how are you going to keep the podcast relevant and fresh after WVU last game?
I just watched, man. We had a lot of fire in our belly. His name's Austin?
Austin Bramer, yeah.
Austin Bramer, man, listen. There's always something to talk about when it comes to WVU. There's never a time when we can't talk about West Virginia University, whether we're complaining, whether we're excited, whether we're optimistic, whether we're pessimistic. There's always something to talk about. And if you're watching, I don't know how long you've been watching. We've been giving you the business. We've been giving them the business and talking about what needs to be done. Plus, we're talking about recruits. We got Zacoby McClain that is likely going to be a Mountaineer. We're going to have to wait and see what he says. We just got Quantel Raines, a 4-star safety / linebacker out of Aliquippa, following that pipeline, Drayvon being one of those guys too. So there's a lot to look forward to, even though right now it's not the best.
Yeah, and here's the thing. When there's games being played, there's always something to talk about and to break down and look at. Whether it's football, then we're going to get into basketball. The real question is, during the offseason, what are we going to do? But fortunately for us, we've already experienced, like when we started, we buttered our bread during didn't butter our bread, but we started during the offseason. So our whole format coming into this was based on the offseason. So I feel like we'll be able to handle that too. So yeah, while games are being played, it's always going to be live. It's always going to be real, and we're always going to keep it 100 from Mountaineer Nation.
Yep, always and forever. And Jason Riggs is still not giving up the cargo shorts. I just don't know what to tell you, Jason.
No, I feel you, Jason. You do you, son. You do you, son. Don't let these haters hate.
You'll have platform shoes too, Jason. Okay? I don't know what to tell you, man. I've been trying to help you. I just don't know what to say. Ain't nothing to say. You do what you want to.
Let them hate. Let them hate.
Yeah, they hate, but they broke, though. And when it's time to pop, they in no show. All right. All right, you ready, Jay? Ready for why we hate Iowa State? Chris Hall, man, you got to be better than that, man. You're a young man still. You got to be better than that.
Chris, Chris was in the cargoes. I feel you, Chris.
You got to be better than that.
Is this a different segment, or are we bringing on?
Nah, different segment. What time is it?
It's 6:45.
6:45? Yeah, we better bring him on. All right, so now we're doing the interview with Joey T. Smith. That's what his name is on Instagram. Joey is a sports nutrition intern. He's also the women's soccer team manager, and he will be the women's basketball team, or he's the women's basketball team manager, WVU women's basketball team manager. He will be the women's soccer team manager in the spring. We got lots of questions for him, starting with some Women Crush Wednesdays. Y'all have to wait and see what that's about.
Hey,
Joey,
what's up?
You there, Joey?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man, this is Brandon Phoenix.
And Jeremy Phoenix, little brother.
We about to do this, man. We've been on Facebook Live and YouTube Live this whole time. So right now you're on live. Just so you know, can they hear him?
All right.
They can hear you. So don't say nothing. Look, man, this is a family-friendly podcast. All right. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Because I don't want to have to pay. Because I will fine you. It'll come out your pocket.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm just teasing you.
Am I too far on it? Am I good?
So angle it up, angle the front grill up towards your face.
Oh, like that?
So right now, our producer is trying to help my brother. Can you see?
Sound better right there?
He's trying to help my brother get his microphone right. Can Joey see us?
I can see you. Yeah.
So
All right, good deal.
You can see Jeremy, but you can't see me, Joey.
No, I cannot.
Okay, you see the dude with the West Virginia jacket on. That's all
Yes,
good.
I do.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I can't see Brady either, but I just, it's whatever.
Jeremy just knows.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all have to just deal with it. All right, I'll tell you, he's going to do some claps, and then we'll get the interview started, okay?
All right, let's get it.
We are live with the sports nutrition intern, Joey T. Smith. What's up, Joey?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, we're glad that you're here. I see you on Instagram, man, and the main thing I see about you is you always are with the baddest broads. That's the thing I see.
Oh wow.
You always with the flyest. Is that true?
There's a little truth to that. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, man, and you do good things too. We know that you do the sports nutrition thing, but you're also the WVU women's basketball manager. Is that true?
Yes, that is correct.
How did you get into a gig like that?
So working with the sports nutrition, my friend's actually one of the managers for the women's basketball team as well. So I asked her about it, and she gave me some details, and then I went and talked to the head manager, and we just kind of worked things out, and yeah, went from there.
How's that? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, my bad. I don't mean to cut you off, but what does that exactly mean, being a women's basketball manager?
So what I do is so if the women need drinks or anything, I'll get them drinks. I'll clean up the floor. I'll rebound for them, pass them the ball, do anything Coach Carey tells me to. So, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah.
What's it like working for Coach Carey?
He is very, very, very active. And he likes to yell a lot. So you got to take it with the grain of salt.
So he's like Bobby Huggins.
Yeah, he's a character.
But he's got a more powerful mustache than any man I've ever seen, I think.
I was gonna say, do you support his mustache?
I gotta say I do, yeah. It adds more fear to him. So, I mean, I feel like with the mustache, people like to be more afraid of him.
Yeah.
Now, do you get to use any of your nutrition to benefit the squad? Any of your nutrition background?
Yeah, I actually get to make recovery smoothies. So after a practice or whatever, the athletes can come up to the fueling station. I can make them a smoothie, get them nutritious snacks and stuff like that. So, I mean,
that's a part of the game that's changed so much over the years. Nutrition wasn't as big a deal in the past, and now we recognize how important it is. And it's really important when you have a team as highly touted as WVU, 15 in the AP poll, if I'm correct.
Yeah, you are correct.
15 in the AP poll preseason. They were Big 12 championship tournament champions.
Tourney champs
last year. Tynice Martin is back. Shania Ray in the back. Am I saying her name right? Shania. Man.
Yeah. How you gonna mess up my girl's name like that, Shania?
Yeah.
Man, she gonna be mad. When I talk to her later, she gonna be mad.
Yeah. So will Terrell Pryor. Okay, so you need to back up.
Oh yeah.
Hey Jay, turn your mic down. Turn your mic down, Jay.
All right, my bad.
No, but now I lost all track of thought. But anyway, they got a squad coming back. Now, how do you say Kiss Ray? Is that how you say her name? How you say her name? The other guard?
For who?
Michigan State transfer.
Michigan State. Oh, Kaiser.
Man.
Kaiser. Yeah.
Yeah, look. So Shania and Kaiser have both been Women Crush Wednesdays for us.
They have, yeah. I mean, look at them; they're stunning. It's crazy.
The thing is, they're not just stunning, but they can ball, man.
They can. Kaiser's a big baller.
It's real. They make people talk about women's basketball. People don't want to watch, but they make it fun.
But have you seen Martin play, Brandon? She's straight up. She's the truth. I watched her in the Big 12 championship game, and she went on. Whew, she was killing it.
But y'all need to watch Kaiser. Kaiser's the one that y'all need to watch next year, not this year. She can't play.
I noticed that.
She's a baller. And like Josh Jackson, he plays for the Phoenix Suns now. Yeah. He used to play for Kansas. They're dating, so they've been together since high school.
They're doing what?
You don't tell me on national. You don't tell me on live broadcast my girl dating somebody else.
Yeah. So they've been together since high school.
I got a question for you. Who is the funniest on the squad?
The funniest on the squad. I would say Tyneas.
Is she really?
Yeah. I mean, she's just a good, relaxed, chill person. But she's funny because like she's injured, so she has like a lot of energy and stuff. Like she's anxious to get back on the court. So
who's the most competitive?
Most competitive? That's a tough one. I say KP, Katrina Pardee. Actually, yeah, she's working her way up there. You should expect big things from her.
I'm expecting big things out of everybody.
I love it.
I'm not trying to get people hopes up too much, but I really genuinely believe in Coach Carey. I like his mindset. I like the way he approaches the game, and I feel like the players on the squad have taken on his personality as far as their approach to the game. Is that true?
Yeah, that's definitely true. We just got to hold the fort down until Tyneas gets in. Then even bigger things will happen. So.
Yep. Well, and so you're going to be managing the women's soccer team in the spring. I know.
Yeah, in the spring.
You know up front, Nikki Izzo Brown don't play, right?
She is. Yeah, she is. She's something else. She is something else. Just watching from the sidelines, she's crazy.
She's a legend, is what she is.
She is. I mean, that's what you could call her.
And so
that's what you could call her.
And so you're going to get to work with two of the best in the business. What's that mean for you in your career?
It's just good to work with both people, actually. They're both really good people, but they have that competitiveness to them that, like, puts them over the edge. So, I mean, getting to know them and just, like, their ways and stuff, it's going to, like, help me as a person and grow. So, I mean, yeah, it's good to know.
Joey, we appreciate you coming on with us tonight.
Now, I had a question, though. I had a question, too, though.
All right, get you.
How long did you say you've been doing this for?
Hey, turn your mic down, Jay. Turn your mic down.
Sports nutrition or managing the women's basketball team?
Managing the women's basketball team.
For about a month, actually. But I've been friends with all of the players. So, I mean, I've, like, known them really well, like, personally. So.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I was going to ask you about a time. I didn't know if it's been, more than a year or so. I was going to ask you about a time that was just, you dropped the cup or just something the funny that happened. But you've only been there for a month, so you have exciting times. Do you travel with the team?
I will not be traveling till, like, this next semester, so the spring semester. They don't do a lot of traveling right now, but I mean, like, next semester I'll be traveling with the team, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. No, man, that's awesome. And I'm glad you made time to come on here and just let us know what was going on and what was happening, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Man. There might be a time where we need you to come back on, like when it gets to tournament time or something like that. If you're not too busy, we'll holler at you, all right?
All right, I'll be ready.
All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you.
All right, later.
Jay, by the way, how do I turn it down?
You have two knobs on your microphone, right?
Two knobs on the microphone, he said.
No, there's a spin. It spins. I don't know. Nope. Ain't no two knobs. I'll spin. All right. Tell me, can you hear any difference? Any difference? Any difference? Any difference? Any difference? Any difference?
No,
nope.
I mean, it sounds the same. Hold on. It wasn't bad during the other things. It was just when. All you need to do is take your microphone back down.
So like that. Is that good right there?
No. The way you have it right now is wrong. Leave it right there. Leave it right there.
All right.
Turn the dial on the microphone all the way to the left. Now
all right, it's all
Jeremy's mic, so
it's all the way to the left.
It's all the way to the left, and it's not. Now turn it all the way the opposite direction.
All right. Can you hear anything? Still same thing.
So why don't we just angle the mic the other way so that it sounds fine?
Does it sound all right there? If I back it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. One thing I wanted to talk about, we didn't get to talk about much, is the kickoff of the basketball team. Javon Carter.
Real quick. Yeah, that was so smooth. That my bad on a little bit on that interview. Went in a couple times. Should have slowed up a little bit.
No, it's all right, man. You kept it real. I thought you kept it real.
Wes Bearden says Longhorns fan in the building.
Wes Bearden, man. Hey, we respect the Texas Longhorns. I respect Tom Herman, what he's going to do. And I'm looking forward to that. We'll be at that game. Are you coming to Morgantown, Wes? Let us know.
Wes, we call them Texas number 1.
Yeah.
For the record.
They're Texas number 1.
A&M is number 2. TCU is number 3. Texas Tech is number 4. And Baylor is number 5. Texas number 5.
Why is his mic is loud again?
I don't know. I have no clue. Because there's no buttons.
Better, like if you just angle it back the way you had it for now. The way you had it originally. When Jordan said it was on the top of the mic.
Right here?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it sounds better.
It's wrong, but it sounds better. That's what we'll have to do just for now.
Yeah, it sounds better. It's not optimal, but it's better than nothing right now.
Yeah, my bad.
All right. All right, guys, it's time for Why We Hate Iowa State. Iowa State Hate Week. Y'all ready? Well, before we get started on that, I do want to talk about Javon Carter and basically just getting back to Big 12 basketball. Javon Carter got snubbed for the All-American team. He didn't make it to any of the 4 All-American teams. Those people are crazy, okay, first of all. Second of all, they look good against Albany. They look like they were ready to play. I was excited about Lamont West. He looked a lot bigger, and his shot is still wet, so that's important. He put muscle on, but was still able to be successful. What's up, Jordan? What are you laughing at?
Wes says, I live in BAMA now, in Alabama. It sucks, he says. I have never attended a game. It's on my bucket list. Red River rivalry next year.
It's Oklahoma versus Texas. Red River rivalry. All right, Wes, man. Maybe one day in Morgantown we'll see you.
Hopefully.
All right, so. No, you ready for Why We Hate Iowa State, Jay?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, let's go. Why We Hate Iowa State. It's the Raspy Voice Kids, your boy Brandon Phoenix, known as I Also Hate Pitt.
And JM Fiend, Jeremy Phoenix, little brother in the building.
We are ready to talk about Iowa State. The Cyclones come to Morgantown as 3-point dogs, but we're not really focused on that because we talked about it during our preview. We're talking about why we hate Iowa State. And I'll tell you, my first initial reaction to this is it's not a long list. We kind of own the rivalry. We're 4-1 against them since we joined the Big 12. And the only thing I could think of off the top of my head was the Big 12 championship game last year. Terrible. Couldn't believe we lost to them. And, of course, they did nothing in the NCAA tournament, whereas we went to the Sweet 16 because we do our business like that. The Cyclones have terrible colors, and they have terrible uniforms, and they're the second best little brother of their whole entire state. Iowa is the king. Iowa State is not. What do you got for us, Jay?
No, that's just what you hit on the head. My thing is, I like to start out, I didn't have a whole lot of reasons. And then I thought about it, and I do. Do you guys remember last year? And we're going to go to the Big 12 championship game. We beat them 2 times in the regular season. And then we get to the postseason, and they beat us. And they win the championship. For me, that sickens because we're a basketball school, and I know they are too. I can't stand Iowa State, partially because of that. But the other reason why, and this is the truth, before we ever came to this conference, the reason why I can't stand Iowa State is because of how often they lose to Iowa. Since we've been in this conference, they've lost 4 of the last 5 times. If you look at this year, look at Iowa State. Yep. They beat TCU. They beat Oklahoma. Yep. They're able to beat our conference. They're able to look like stout on defense. And then they give up 48 points in OT to Iowa. To Iowa.
To the
It's
Hawkeyes.
No, it's a complex. It's mental. But the biggest thing is it's hurting our conference. You can't beat these out of conference teams, but then when you play all big dogs, you can knock them off. That's my thing. If I had full faith that they would go in and win a big-time bowl game, I wouldn't hate them. But the reason why I do hate them is all you're doing is taking away from our conference right now.
That's right.
Because you can't beat the Hawkeyes.
Never. They're owned by Kirk Ferentz. That's what it should say. The president of Iowa State is Kirk Ferentz. And it's so sickening. What, you can't handle pink locker rooms? That's too much for you? Get it together, guys. I'm so sick of this. What, you can't handle their waving to their sick children? That's too much for you? Get it together, guys. Win the football game. I'm tired of this. I'm so tired of this.
You know another thing I hate about Iowa State?
What?
What's your team name?
Iowa State?
Yeah, what's their team name?
Cyclones.
What's their mascot? Stop it! Stop it! How can you be a school? You're named the Cyclones, but your mascot is a cardinal. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? They don't even go together.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason. That's part of the reason.
Cyclone.
That's part of the reason why you get whipped by Iowa. Because I don't believe in sports guys, but if there were sports guys, they'd be looking down on you for naming your team one thing and having a totally different mascot. Stop it.
Yeah, it's like Stanford, okay? Who do you think you are? What do you think you are? We're tired of it. Be something. If you're going to beat our guys, be something. When you come to Morgantown, we got something for you. We're tired
look,
and we got something for you.
That's what I think. Here's the biggest thing, Iowa State. Beat Iowa. Please. Lord, please beat Iowa.
For once in your life.
God.
Why we hate Iowa State. That's a wrap. We'll see you next week. Oh, we got to do shout-outs.
By the way, real talk. Have you seen the Steph Curry fours?
Nope.
Now, I know we had to think about underarm, but it was kind of fly though. Them were real tight.
Are you ready for the shout-outs?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you guys are.
All right, we want to do our shout-outs for the week. Sean Thomas, I saw you at the game, man, leaving the stadium. Showed mad love. Got to do a video. I also hate Pitt together. Appreciate your support, listening, watching, following.